This is a 42 pounder I just got. He's absolutely massive. We're going to throw him back.
What's up, everybody? This video is kind of something new. So this video is my top 3 flatheads of the 2024 season. But what I'm going to go into is location, time of year, depth, and what I was looking for when I caught these fish, as well as some map representations of kind of what these spots look like, as well as where I position my boats and where I'm going to be throwing my baits. So stay tuned. And hopefully this video will help you catch a giant flathead this summer.
Oh, this one feels like it's got some weight. I think it's gonna be a little better here. You don't want to come up. Oh yeah, that's big. Caught a 42 the other day. Tonight, I don't know how big this one is, but he's big. That's a giant. Oh my God, look at that one. He is 32-13, almost 33.
Well, here's how I caught that one. So this is one of my favorite ways to set up on fish, especially early evening, right as the sun's going down. And that's basically a current seam with a deep hole below it. So basically what you've got here is you've got the current coming down this way, and it eddies here, creates that pocket. And what that does is creates an awesome ambush point for flatheads to come up, come out of that deep water, and start eating. So how I'm going to set up is I'm going to set up right where the star is, anchor down there, and I'm going to put my first bait basically right here, right where that deep water meets the shallower water, right on the eddy, right on the point. That should catch anything coming straight up out. And then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk my baits here, 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 kind of on this shallow flat. So anything traveling up through here, you know, gets a good look at your bait as it's coming out of that hole for the evening. So this setup is you know, kind of classic fish feeding behavior. Any fish, but you know, especially flatheads at night, they're going to be sitting down in this hole during the day. And if it's got structure in it, even better, but it doesn't really need that. All it needs is kind of a way for them to sit out of the current during the day when they're just loafing, which they spend a majority of their day doing. And then basically it's a funnel, and then it funnels them right out, you know, up this slough at night when they're going to feed. So you're going to kind of ambush them as they're coming through. And right before I caught this fish, I actually had caught like a 10-pounder on one of these outside lines. So there was one coming up this way, and then the big one came straight out of the deep hole right up onto the point, and that's where I ended up hooking up with the fish you just saw there. So again, one of my favorite things to look for when I'm fishing any part of the river, any river really. Doesn't have to be the Mississippi or, you know, wherever you fish. If you can find something like this, there's a good chance you should be able to, you know, ambush a few flatheads coming out of there at night to feed. So I'm going to focus my lines right here, anchor here, and just wait. And I'll give that, you know, probably anywhere from 20 minutes to 45 minutes before I move on. If I don't catch anything coming out of there, I'm not interested in that. I'm just going to go look for more fish. I'm going to look for active fish somewhere else. So that's how I caught this one. Now we're on to number 2.
Oh man, this could be a giant. Oh. It's like hitting a freight train. slow night till now. Giant. He sure felt like it in this current. He's still a damn good one. Oh yeah. Come here. Come here. Look at this. Oh, he's ripping me up. Oh yeah, there's a good one. Oh yeah. Big Mississippi River flathead, baby. Let's go. Let's see. Here. 32 pounds, 13 ounces. Oh.
All right, there you have that. So this is a pretty traditional flathead setup. It's basically a long cut bank. There's wood on here, different little sloughs that offshoot of it. But what I'm going to look for is these deeper holes within it, and then I'm also going to use my electronics, side scan and down scan, to look for any kind of structure, wood, rock, anything that's off the bank, because that's where those fish are going to kind of hold the bigger fish. So this fish in particular was pretty neat because I actually saw him on my down imaging. So I was coming along this, I knew there was a tree in this hole, I went over it, and I could see him actually sitting just in front of the log, basically facing upstream, waiting for stuff to come to him. So what I did was I anchored up here where the star was. I threw a bait on either side of him, one out here, which is where you're going to want it, and then I always get one up in the cut bank, because there's fish that travel that. I mean, there's nothing more flatheady, if you will, than cut bank with wood on it. But what I'm always looking for is this, the offshore stuff. So I dropped a bait in there, and then within probably a minute, that fish struck and he was on. And you can use your electronics if you've got them. Side imaging is very helpful to find this offshore wood. And then I kind of come back. Generally, if I find some wood, I'll come back and go over it again with the down imaging or your traditional sonar to see if I could see any fish sitting on it. And if you don't see one, that doesn't mean they're not there. But, traditionally an active fish will be noticeable because he'll be off the bottom slightly and kind of in an area where he can ambush. And obviously, being night, I had an assumption that they were active and feeding. So what I would look for basically is long stretches of this, and then obviously there's going to be different sets of holes, different depths along it generally. And in the hotter months like August, July, August, I'm going to look for the deeper holes anywhere from, on the Mississippi, I guess, anywhere from 16 foot all the way down to like 25. And then actually in the fall, September, October, early October, those fish will actually be on shallower sections. So I'll look for fish in less than 12 feet of water, all the way up to like sometimes 3 feet. So cut banks are good all year, especially in the spawn if you can find one that has moderate current or an eddy on it, because that's where they're going to get out of the current to nest. So traditional spot, really, nothing crazy about it other than just finding some of the intricacies. There's going to be many current seams all down it that you can look for. Just little tiny spot on the spot that you want to look for to find the bigger flatheads. So anyways, that was number 2. Number 1 is my favorite because it is my personal best. And this one was a fun one, and it's one of my favorite structures to fish.
It's got rocked again. We're gonna get another one here. We got 2 at the same time. That one got off. That one's hooked up. We just missed. This is a better fish. This is a really good fish. I can barely move him. That first one got off. This is a giant. Oh man, can you hear that? I wish I had my other camera on. Don't break off. Don't break off. this fish is absolutely fucking huge. Pardon my French. Woo! Let's go! Look at this thing. Oh my goodness. I can't even get him up. That's my personal best. 42 pounds, 9 ounces. Oh my God. Let's go.
All right. Well, that was a fun one. Again, this is probably my favorite setup for flathead fishing. Essentially, what I'm looking for is the top side of an island. So you got the current flowing this way, pushing on it, and then it splits here. But there's a lot of current that pushes right up on this. And what the flatheads do is they sit, and generally washouts will be there too. So you'll have logs and structure there. So the flatheads will just sit there in that structure, kind of get blocked from the current, and they'll wait for anything to float down that they want to eat, bait, fish, bluegills, whatever, and they will ambush them here. So this particular example is especially juicy. You've got a wing dam here in this off channel, a deep hole here, and then there's this cut bank on this side and this side. So what you've got is basically 3 or 4 different kinds of primary structure, and I'll do a wing dam video at some point too, but that are all holding flatheads pretty consistently. So not only will flatheads live here, they'll travel off of this to feed on it because it's a great spot to ambush again. So I'll set up on this, evenings, during the day. Like this fish was caught late afternoon, and I actually caught several others on the same point, all within a few minutes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bait or 2 right up in the stuff, hopefully get it back, not get snagged. But, and then I'm going to put one again on the outside and on the inside. So anything that's coming out to feed is going to funnel right up to it, and hopefully you get bit on the way by. But these are real easy to find, but they're not all created equal. So what you're going to want to look for is any kind of depth on it. And it doesn't have to be, super deep, but, I would more than 8 foot. And if the closer to the actual dry land that point comes up, so like the more cut and sharp that point is, this one's not overly sharp, but, just for sake of example, the more cut that is, the better. So I wouldn't want to go look at this one, or even this one. There's not a lot going on here. It's pretty shallow, probably sand, probably not a lot of structure. Generally, you're just not gonna see a lot of flatheads on it. So I'm looking for depth, structure around it, anything that looks flatheady again. And I'm gonna anchor above it and just cast into it. And this is another spot where I will give it, oh gosh, probably 20 minutes to 30 minutes. If I don't get one, I'm probably not going to sit there and wait all night. I may come back to it to see if something has moved on, but it's not a spot where I'm going to post up, put my cot down and take a nap. They're either biting there or they're not. And, one of my philosophies for flathead fishing is move quick to find active fish. If you don't get a bite in the first half hour, there's probably not one ready to eat there. Might be a fish there, but he might not be ready to eat. And your success rate is higher if you move quicker, in my opinion. There's different philosophies on that. And I know that, if you're bank fishing, you don't necessarily have the luxury of moving quickly. But even when you're doing that, like moving your baits around on the bank. So move one up, move one down, just kind of keep them moving around. Don't just toss it out there and let it soak. The more you can kind of be aggressive, the better chance you're going to run into one that's hungry and ready to eat. Well, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you found it useful. I'm going to try to do more of these videos of just basically knowledge. There's not a lot on YouTube of like flathead strategy and mapping and things like that. So I'm going to try to do more of that. If you guys could let me know kind of what questions you'd have or what you'd want to see. Like I said, I'm going to do a wing dam video. I had some requests for that on Midwest Flatheads, but if you guys could let me know in the comments or, post it up on Facebook or whatever, or shoot me a message, whatever, what you'd like to see a video on, that'd be great. I appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe, and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.